They did it again! Singularity 6 have answered more questions about Palia. Okay, they did it a couple weeks ago, but after my last video, I decided to take a tiny break. Given how harsh I was about the questions in that last one, let's not just look at the question and answers, but let's also take a look at how they did in selecting questions this time. The first question is not about the game. Singularity 6 have hired a community manager, and instead of introducing them in the Meet the Team section of their Discord, they used the community question for it. And in case you're wondering, no, they didn't increase the amount of questions to make up for it. Bad start. Next, how important will exploration be? Should be noted that while this game is an MMO, it is not an RPG, with the whimsical journeys of combat and doom. Exploration will play a large part in this game, but it won't be as expansive as some of the larger games. And Singularity 6 is planning to treat this game as a bit of a live service, which means they'll be updating with new zones after launch that will allow for more exploration as time goes on. Also, I liked this question and how they answered it, so they're batting 500 so far. How much of an accomplishment is owning a home? My own personal opinion, it shouldn't really be one. This game is supposed to be an MMO where your home and farm play a critical role in the main gameplay loop. Instead, accomplishments should be derived not from having a home, but in how you decorate or expand it into the future. An example off the top of my head is maybe a base house is pretty easy to get, but I would need to work to build my kitchen, both as a room and through collecting or making furniture. Of course, Singularity 6 did answer too. They stated that the home should be an accomplishment for the work that you put into it to that point. There should still be a chase for new styles or furniture options well into the future. Essentially, we don't 100% agree, but there also isn't really a right answer to the question. Are there plans for a wish list in the cash shop? I still refuse to talk about the terrible monetization, and I wish they'd stop choosing questions for it when they still haven't put out their promised monetization question and answer. And they were just starting to do passively on these too. Can we just be friends with NPCs? Yes, and they've answered this question multiple times. As a group curating these questions, why? Can young children play Palia? The game is targeting ages 13+, which means there will be some themes that may not be appropriate for young children. It's hard to say that this is a bad question, but a general target rating probably should have been announced beforehand anyway. Will Palia be full of aesthetic details? I have a counter question. Would the team developing the game honestly tell us if it didn't? That said, from all the concept art and info they put out, there is a fairly natural aesthetic. In their answer, the Singularity 6 team members mentioned that they're trying to build a believable world that players can fall in love with, while also having amazing effects from things like fireflies or lightning bugs, whatever you call them wherever you are, sunsets and sunrises, and mysterious spirits. So hopefully it all looks good. While the question is a little silly given who is being asked, I do think the answer was pretty passable, so good job there. And now time for the 8th and last question. Obviously they saved the best for last, right? And the question, can we romance any gender? Just kill me now. Okay, so to answer this question, again, yes, all romanceable NPCs are able to be dated regardless of the player gender because the team is attempting to avoid any gender distinctions in the game. So after 8 questions, Singularity 6 has kept to a 500 average in answering a question. Great in baseball, terrible when you control the entire process of picking and answering questions. Luckily, they decided to include one more for people like me. How are they approaching the design of the game in order to promote kind communities? I like this question. Sure, it's a bit loaded and assumes that you can make a kind community through design alone, which you can't, but the design can help tremendously, and I'm not alone in this. While answering, they stated that the cooperative nature of the game should help, but that we recognize that no matter how cozy we make Palia, we will eventually encounter players who make the game less enjoyable for others. It's an interesting problem, because you can't just design a game for positivity and expect everything to just work. Instead, all of the different parts of the game would need to be built in a way to protect individuals from each other, which can in ways hurt gameplay options well into the future. The easiest way to achieve a kind community is for the players to work together and set a basic standard of what is and isn't allowed. Interestingly, the fact that the game is free to play actually makes this infinitely more difficult, but what do I know? So that was all the questions in April. 5 passable ones out of 9, so an improvement over the February question and answer session. I'm also back to working on a few videos videos for Palia, and I'm trying to establish a way of following news that allows me to not take 2 weeks to make a simple video on the question and answer of a game. I am, however, at the tail end of my semester at university, so for the next few weeks, the video count may not be that good. Sorry. But that's it for me. If you did enjoy this video, maybe you'll like this YouTube algorithm chosen video over here. Or if you want to pick your own, here's a playlist of my other Palia videos. Also, we just hit 100 subs on the channel. I would like to thank you guys for both that and for watching. It means a lot to me.